Hello, and thank you for joining us for the game night. Tonight we're diving into our continuing D&D adventures in the world of Drax Arcadia. Let's start with an introduction of the players and their characters.
Hi, my name's Tyler, and I'm playing Clementine. She's a 13-year-old gnome.
I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Miirik. He is a drow half elf.
Awesome. My name is Clint, and I will be DMing this, so let's jump right into this. You have, Tyler, jumped via a teleportation spell along with your escort, Lucas, just north, about an hour, of the city of Dragon's Mouth. It is cold here. There's rolling, icy plains. The city you can see off in the
Mm.
distance. You can see the mountain pass that serves as its entrance way off in the distance, but you can make out where the mountains divide. And you see vehicles of varying degrees of technological advancement. You see some still using wagons. You see a few using what looks to be steam powered, and some things trailing black smoke.
Okay.
Coming and going from those main thoroughfare that leads to the city.
Right. Looking around, is it like a heavy snowfall? Is it like just like a
It looks
brisk air?
It definitely looks like rolling hills that are capped with snow. It
Gotcha.
hasn't been like within the few days, but it's definitely old
Okay.
cold here.
Gotcha.
Which you see your breath coming
Okay.
out of your mouth every time you like say things.
Okay. I guess kind of just pulling my white hood over my head and just kind of I'm looking at what it sounds. Is it like a caravan that's up this path, or just us here?
Right now you are looking down like a small valley
Gotcha.
into like you're up at the top of
Gotcha.
like
Okay.
yeah. And then Lucas looks over you and goes, "You sure you want to do this, kid?"
It's been a long time coming. This is what I want.
All right, let's get you in there.
All right.
Um, and you make your way over to the roadway,
Okay.
essentially at this point. Not a proper road, no cobblestones, no pavement or anything like that. You'd expect something advanced. It's just it's so hard packed frozen
Yeah.
ground that has just been traveled on so much that it is dense enough that it's become a road. You
Okay.
see plants poking up out of the snow, like trying to survive in
Yeah.
this like some shrubs that are obviously clinging on for life, and the few trees that you do see are out in the distance, definitely of the pine variety, the evergreens. You see that, and even they're decked out with some frost on them.
Okay.
But no, you make your way,
Like-
yeah, journeying in. Are you gonna try and be subtle about this? Or are you being overt?
Yeah, if there's people down there, I mean, I'm in a white hoodie, so I'm pretty low to the ground. If I could like get up behind somebody else's wagon who's not looking and kind of try to hitch a ride, I just kind of try
Yeah,
to.
you and Lucas are both sneaky enough
Yeah.
to do that. So,
Okay.
let's see the first roll all the way.
Hey.
This could either be a deception or a stealth check.
Okay. I'm gonna go stealth.
And either way, Lucas aiding you is going to give you advantage.
Okay. Why did well listen? Um, 60.
16. Let's see. All right. Sure. Um, the cart that you kind of like the people. There's not a lot of like it's not traffic. It's not bumper to
Okay.
bumper. There's this caravan of things. This cart, this truck,
Mhm.
weird looking thing with treads and snow plows that's just pouring smoke out the back.
Okay.
Um, which one would you go for? Like what kind of looking thing? Like a more of like an advanced looking thing, or we're looking at like more of one of the old timey things that's still around from in this world?
Probably something more modern that I could kind of like. I'm low to the ground, so I'd be able to jump again.
Okay.
But something that I can like maybe get inside if I feel like
Okay.
just hanging on is won't do it.
Let's see. That with that check, it looks like the easiest one you'd be. There is one that has like almost like an old Model T looking vehicle
Okay.
that has like spikes sticking out of the wheels
Okay.
for better traction on the snowy ground.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it's just it's its way down the thing. The back of it's loaded up with crates, and there is just a old gnome-looking dude driving it with the goggles. His face has got a little caked with a little frost on the mustache, and he's just putting along. And this thing's making enough noise where you're able to like go right along behind it, and no big
Jump
deal.
on the
Yeah,
thing behind the crates.
yeah.
Okay, sweet.
So you hop into that, and there's enough distance, like I said, between the vehicles that there's nobody really even notices or cares
Mhm.
at that point. Um,
What's Lucas doing?
you look back, you don't see him.
Oh, okay.
So he's doing that sneaky thing.
Okay. I'll keep that hood up and kind of try to get in behind one of those boxes and just be
But
small.
in your head, you hear him say, "I'm still here,"
Okay.
using his telepathy that he's exhibited using his psionic powers in the past. Um, yeah, you're trucking right along. You get into essentially what is like the mountain pass
Mhm.
that is the causeway into the city, and it is just amazingly the mountains. It looks like somebody cleaved it,
Yeah.
like they chopped it and split the mountains apart. It doesn't look natural,
Yeah.
and maybe not because this was originally a dwarven city.
Mhm.
However, you go up farther and you can start seeing like carved from the mountains themselves battlements and towers
Okay.
that several stories up into the air just to somebody's paying attention to what's coming and going from this
Okay.
place. And the main entrance to the city is a artistically rendered, finely crafted stone entryway that is has a door that looks like it's made of this dark iron material that is over 2 stories tall.
Mm.
It is swung open, and there are people and vehicles coming and going.
Does it look like anybody's being like stopped or frisked or anything like that?
Nobody's being stopped. There's along the top of the doorway,
Mhm.
there is like a balcony
Gotcha.
area to where you see moving across it several orcs decked out in black armor with a white strip across it.
Okay.
And roosted, like peering down like gargoyles, are 2 very large white dragons.
Oh, okay. Anything ringing a bell on the orcs' uniforms? Anything that I might recognize? Like any?
Roll a history check.
Let's see. 22.
22. Actually, you did a little homework before you came here, so that helps. That was way higher than the DC.
Oh, I lied.
So
24.
I'm actually going to give you some extra stuff on this. You know that these orcs work as the security for the cartels that run this city.
Okay.
They are not bound to any specific cartel, whether that's the assassins cartel, the thieves cartel, any of the merchant ones, the noble houses, the dwarves, that's things like that. That they are more of like an independent operating for the city themselves,
Okay.
and everybody pays into them to protect the city.
Okay.
That's why there's taxes in this town, like essentially. But these orcs and these dragons are from a village. No, it's not the right word. A clan hold
Okay.
of the orcs and frost giants and dragons that seemingly coexist underneath the banner of the White Flight.
Okay.
And hence that's why there are dragons here.
Okay.
So, and at that point, you would actually notice flying over the pass is a white dragon with an orc on its back.
Okay. How big?
It's a big boy.
Okay.
We're not talking like
Yeah.
big as a school bus, but we're talking at least a Volvo. No, all right, right. It's a big thing.
Okay.
From head to toe, we're looking about 15, 16 feet. Wingspan of about 9 to 12 feet, depending on like you can't quite gauge from that distance. But yeah, definitely a white dragon, and definitely an orc on its back. You can't miss the black armor on the white scales.
Does he look any different than the other ones I saw, or does he kind of?
No, but this is interesting. Is the orcs of the north have more of a grayish complexion than the green that you see in some of the more um, like orcs that traverse most of the other world. These ones,
Okay.
with that 25, still tapping into that. You know these to be frostblood orcs,
Okay.
and they have more than just a passing connection to the dragons.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, you make your way through the gateway. Nobody stops the guy, but he does turn off of the main thoroughfare and start heading into where a lot of the other vehicles are going,
Mhm.
which looks to be some sort of like almost like a customs place
Okay.
or like and it like get your stuff checked, your
Yeah.
inventory checked as you're coming in.
As I start to get that vibe, looking around me just through the gate initially, is there any like buildings or anything that I see that I could like go
Oh,
to?
definitely. There's no apparent alleys as you're going in off the initial part. It's very much more of that amazing dwarven stonework that
Okay.
continues in. There's a long, almost like tunnel, and in this tunnel there's several offshoot like ca- caverns. Is the right word?
Okay.
All right. But this he heads off in one direction. There's a thoroughfare that goes straight through, and another one that goes off to the left for another reason. You see some vehicles moving off that way too,
Okay.
but most of those ones are coming as they're leaving. They're going to go do something there, and then they're heading out.
Mhm.
Um, Continuing forward, you would be going into out of this tunnel into the city proper.
Mhm.
Interestingly enough, there is immediately a giant rampway that leads up and curves to the right in a slow, gentle slope.
Okay.
There's another one that leads you straight forward.
Mhm.
If you go forward, it looks like you're looking at, just at a glance, shops.
Okay.
Things with signs hanging over the top of like their doorways. There's bells attached to the top. This place looks like very much like almost like from the dwarven architecture shifted immediately into almost like Victorian era or I guess like steampunky kind of element to things too, because with the vehicles, again, there's carts and horses and mules and things like that, but there's dragons flying around,
Yeah.
and there's literal vehicles that are pouring black smoke out the back of them and puttering along, and yeah,
Okay. Um, if I look kind of ahead at this customs checkpoint that I see like ahead of me, what are they just looking? Do they have like any kind of like dog or anything out there that's like sniffing?
it's the orcs that you
Okay.
saw from before. I don't seem like they have any kind of animals helping with this at this point.
Okay. Um, so what was on that path that went up? Because the ahead was like kind of more of the Victorian
The
stuff.
up, there's the rails and stuff to this, because there's like the guardrails that go up and around with the curve, are done in like almost like a marble mixed with like a granite infusion. It's got a gray swirls in the marble that you can tell are not marble. So this is done with some sort of like magical stonecraft. You can tell this is expensive. Um, at the beginning of that ramp, now that you're actually like looking in that and like inspecting in that direction, you can tell there's a white dragon sitting right there with a rider on it. He's got a very long lance like
Okay.
hanging from the side.
That's what I want to
Yeah.
mess with that. Okay.
But
Okay.
no, there's people are going up it with vehicles, and there are people just walking up that direction.
Um, I'll let myself get a little closer to that customs point. If I look around, do I see any like I know there's some like mechanical vehicles, but is there anything like any like mechanical people? Like any like
Make a perception check.
homunculuses or anything like that?
Make a perception check.
Um,
Nothing that seems like it uses a intelligence to move about. There are like I said, there are mechanical, steampunk, diesel punk level vehicles moving around,
Mhm.
but no, you don't see any like mechanical people or like mechanical mounts or anything like that nature at the moment.
Okay. If I can, as we get closer, as the car or whatever gets closer to the checkpoint, I want to try to drop underneath, if that's possible, and kind of hold on to the bottom, like where the center mass is,
Okay.
if possible.
Sure. Um, this sounds like an athletic.
It does.
Let's get that a roll.
It does. All right. Not my best stat here. Dirty one.
That's one. You start to fall.
Okay.
You lose your grip. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's your fingers are numb already just from being out in that cold for an hour.
Okay.
And you start to drop, and you feel yourself. Something catches you,
Mhm.
and you don't see what it is, but you slowly right yourself. And stepping up with you is Lucas.
Nice. Okay.
His eyes stop glowing purple as
Okay.
he joins you.
Um, So he's in the cart with me.
He would be. The cart is now gone this way, and you guys are now walking.
Oh,
Whether you're walking behind the cart or you're going to take a left and go straight out in the tunnel, or that's up to you.
um. So straight ahead of me, I have like the Victorian stuff. Is that
Yeah, you're heading into like the town proper.
okay?
Right looks like it's customs,
Mhm.
and left looks like it's
Right.
also customs, but the exiting version.
Okay. Yeah. Then we'll just keep walking straight.
Give me a stealth or deception check to just play off
Okay.
this joining
Do I still
crowd.
have advantage from Lucas?
Yes,
Okay. 23.
23. Yeah, you guys blend right in, not miss a step. Nobody really even seems to notice. The orcs are already like checking a different vehicle. They're not even paying attention. They're just, this is another day
Okay.
doing a
Yeah.
job that they would rather be out there attacking things
Yeah.
and being like, oh, busting up bar fights or something like
Right.
that. They're stuck on like inspections duty. Like, oh, we gotta make sure we get our tariffs. Oh, great, yeah. All these tariffs pay for your, your ale, you bastard. Yeah, there you go.
TSA for the day.
Yeah. But one of the things I will say that you notice is there's no airships in the city. As you walk in, those are not common, but they are definitely an expected sight in any kind of like big city like this place.
Mhm.
There's none. And with that 25 that you had from before about this place,
Yeah.
you know it is very difficult for an airship to actually get through the mountain range and the winds from the sides because the horseshoe of mountains that essentially keeps this thing's like secluded, and the winds funnel so heavily and so dangerously through the dire straits that lead to this place from the port side that even regular ships have an issue getting through that,
Yeah.
and airships get just dashed against, like they get thrown into spiky, jagged rocks. Like,
Fair.
yeah,
So this is probably the path that I came is probably the way that most people are coming.
yes.
Okay.
There's also the one that you probably going to see patrolled the most
Yeah.
in that regard. Uh, you could assume that they're not really worried 100% about the aquatic route at that point. But continuing forward.
As I step kind of into this Victorian area, taking kind of a look around, um, just not even just on the street, but also like up and around. Like what kind of scene am I looking at here?
As you get out of the tunnel, you get more into the shops and towns, and you notice that above you, the rocks of the mountains continue to push forward and like overhang, almost like in a mouth itself. And it hanging from the ceiling up as you get to the higher and higher floors, of which now at a glance you can tell there's at least three floors of this city, three different distinct layers. You are currently at the ground floor, and then the ramp goes up to another one, and then looks to be another one beyond that, and then potentially a fourth, which is like looks like ramparts, dwarven construction, more of a militaristic looking like fortifications. Um, but yeah, you can tell there's some fancy stuff going on up, and the higher you go up, it looks the nicer the things look.
On the street, is there anything that catches my eye? Like, um, what's on the street? It's mostly like small businesses and stuff like that.
You're looking at restaurants. You're looking at supply companies. Like if you needed like food and rations and things like that, if you needed anything to go and brave the colder areas, vehicle rentals, mount rentals. This is all the stuff that's going to be closer to the entrance and exit of the city, kind of thing. Um, a couple of inns. They don't look like they have taverns in them, but there's definitely places to stay. Like immediately, like these are almost like hotels that you could stay at if you were interested in setting up shop and then having a way to get in and out quickly from the town. But other than that, in this area, there's no magic shops, there's no like things like that.
Okay.
There is a smith. There is one smith in the area. Which the reason why that draws your attention is of course the clanging.
Yeah.
But the clanging is coming in such a way that you hear it go clang ting 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 ting, clang ting 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 ting, clang, ting, 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 ting.
Well, this is cool. I'll start to walk toward that noise. Just as I'm moving through the street, what's the concentration of police looking like, or the orcs looking like?
You'll see a
No
single one.
more? Okay.
However, overhead, you do see from time to time a white dragon flying around.
Okay. Good to know.
Not constantly, not like, oh, there's a dragon, oh, there's a dragon. More like, oh, there's a dragon. Then about 15 minutes later, oh, there's another dragon. Is it
I'll
the same dragon? I don't know.
I don't know.
Can't tell.
Um,
Too high.
I'll move toward that the blacksmith. See what he's up to. Peeking.
Okay. You get over there. There is it's the rapid hammer smithy.
Okay.
Um, the 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 sign is done up in like a dwarven font, but not in dwarven,
Okay.
so that it uses the dwarven letters to look like the common tongue.
All right. Yeah.
Even though, like, if you were a dwarf, you looked at it, you'd probably be like,
Yeah.
"What's a purple midget?" Something like that. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's gibberish in dwarven, but it's done up
Makes
to
sense to
look
travelers. So.
right.
Right.
And if you look inside, there is a doorway that with a glass window. You look inside. At a glance, you can see stuff hanging on racks. There's like dummies with armor on them. There's a old looking dwarf like leaning, just like kind of moored on the counter. But the hammering noise, the clang, ting, 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 ting that keeps coming, is around the side.
Okay. I'll kind of peek before I go down the alley, but what do I see if I look?
Yeah. You go around the side just enough to look. Lucas kind of automatically taking a stance to where he's like looking in the direction you're not,
Yeah.
so that you guys continue to surveil, but casually.
Yeah.
You're trying not to draw
Not
attention to
yeah.
yourself while making sure you're making attention to everything.
Okay.
But no, you peek around the side real quick. No perception check needed. No skill checks on this one. He's not being sneaky. There looks like there's two forges that are feeding. Being like there's two assistants that are human, and they're feeding stuff to a mechanical individual, and one of his arms looks uh like a blacksmith hammer, but like on a wheel, so that it rotates. So like when
That's cool.
he's like you hear him go another, and they slide one of the ingots over. He's like bang, ding, 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 next, and he's like quench and then bang, ding, 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 next. He's like, and then so they have the two of them are going back and forth feeding him materials. It looks like a practice dance these guys have done.
Okay. What do they look like they're making?
At the moment, he looks like he's crafting some sort of sword.
Okay.
Or blades for a spear, something of that nature. But that's the general shape that you're looking at.
If I look around the shop, like just what else is laying around, do I see like I don't know, for example, like anything the orcs might have been carrying, like anything that would tell me who he's like making these for, if it's just for people or like
Make an investigation check. Not with advantage because he's watching your back.
7.
7?
This dice is going away.
Definitely bladed things. Doesn't look like lances. Doesn't look like axe heads. So that kind of narrows it down to like the style is definitely some sort of swords.
Okay.
You did see when you peeked in that he does have swords hanging from the walls too. So
Anything more modern? Anything that has a projectile?
he's not crafting anything right now. Nothing that looks like it's made with tubes or anything.
Okay.
But you haven't looked inside.
Okay. I'll purely out of curiosity, I'll go inside.
Um, the door swings open and the little bell goes off. And the dwarf's sitting there like, hello?
I just kind of from below. Hello. Hi. So wait, this is one of the assistants, or this is a
This is
fourth
an
guy?
old dwarf guy.
It's like a
He's
fourth
not out there helping, and the humans outside were there. The assistants outside were human.
Gotcha.
Hard to tell, boy, girl, they were covered in soot. Like,
Okay, yeah.
It was there's the heavy shirts and the leather aprons.
Gotcha. Hey, I just got into town. Trying to get my bearings a little bit. I had a question, if you don't mind. is there any chance you ship any kind of weapons or metals, precious metals, or anything like that, um, to some kind of lab or science facility that might be around here? Just help a girl out.
Uh, well, we definitely make things on commission. People make orders for things. We're not, I mean, to be completely honest, young lady, it's more akin to private orders. I don't, every once in a while we get a couple of guards that will come in and ask for something special.
While he's talking, I want to kind of like nudge Lucas as I ask the question to try to like prompt
Ah, he'll turn sideways from him, and you watch as his bright eye turns and glows purple.
Okay.
He begins to read the surface thoughts of this individual. And it comes back in because he'll pipe it in like
Mhm.
almost like with a delay,
Mhm.
yeah, through the telepathic connection you guys have at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's the dwarf. You hear like, "Whoa, an odd question from a little girl." No, I wish we did, but that'd be nice. Things like that.
Okay.
And but then he's like, we did have that one thing that we had for the unusual thing. I'll just be there's an image of metal wheels
Okay.
that about this big, very at the head of like a barbell.
It's like a flywheel or like a
No, they look like they're smooth with a lip that goes around one edge
okay.
and some like a hole in the middle for an axle, some sort of connecting curve.
Um. So I don't. He hasn't said that to me,
Hmm.
but just as Lucas relays that word unusual through the connection, I'll keep him talking. I'll say, oh, I understand the whole customer privacy situation. You don't have to tell me anybody's name or anything like that, but it's just nothing unusual or strange that has been ordered that comes to mind.
Well, we mostly make weapons and armor. Occasionally we get a custom job. We made some wheels recently. Oh,
Oh,
odd. Not many people need wheels. Not like this.
hmm. And nobody mentioned to you where they were going?
Oh, yeah, for Blue Industries.
Oh, does that ring a bell?
You got a 25 earlier, but this is less about like the general,
Street knowledge.
operations of the
Street
place. This is
knowledge.
like street level knowledge. So roll me a history check.
Okay.
DC is gonna be kind of high.
8.
Yeah. Never heard of Blue Industries. And you never really heard of anything called a like straight out called industries, like a almost like a company.
Mhm.
Like you've heard of there are companies, there are merchant companies and guilds, and here there are cartels,
Right.
but I never heard of this one.
Um, to him, I'll say it's kind of a coincidence that you mentioned wheels. I'm actually doing a little project that involves some wheels, um, and I've never heard of a Blue Industries. Maybe could you send me to them and I could talk to them? I'm sorry to waste your time.
Oh, I'm just trying to daydreaming here. Um, well, it's not very difficult to get to Blue Industries. Actually, if you head back the way you came, go to the tunnel on the right, there's going to be the inspection point for exports. But if you continue on a little deeper down that tunnel, you'll get to the old entrance to the mining area. That's where they've set up shop.
Okay. Um, I'll I'll go talk to them. Then thank you for all your help, and
Cool.
I'll just kind of like go on my tippy toes and try to like get a gold piece up onto the edge of the counter.
As he sees the gold, his eyes get big. And
Yeah.
Listen, dog, I don't want to take a gold from you. That's a lot of money.
Um,
It's okay. It's welcome to town.
I say okay if you insist, and then I'll take it back. But I'll try to roll it as I turn. I'm looking up at a kind of a counter. I imagine.
Yeah.
I'll try to like roll it around the corner.
Give me a
Try to get
sleight of
him.
check.
Okay.
little quarter trickery.
16.
16? Yeah, you're able to flick it to where it like just the arcs just behind the counter.
Yeah. And I'll look at him and I'll say, "Oh, before I leave, what was your name again? In case
Oh, I'm Ben.
I'm Clementine, Beth. I'm sure, or Ben. I'm sure I'll be back soon. Thank you for all your help. I'll get around and head out.
Bye, YouTube.
All right, back into the
The
street.
door opens and shuts.
Back into the street. I kind of look at Lucas. Uh, what do you think? You think it's a so the path on the right? I had to go through customs, right?
Yeah, if you were coming into the town,
Mhm.
the way you were facing to the right would have been, import
Mhm.
or deliveries to incoming
Okay.
customs. If you're the way you're facing now the right is exiting, so
Flip to the left.
it was the old left, now is the new right.
So, so I'll go to the new left, which is the old right, where he pointed me. Hopefully,
That's fine.
I'll go where he pointed me. Where he pointed me. Uh, and as we're walking, I'll kind of, I think, I'll look at Lucas and I'll say, I don't know if they'll stop me. I don't really have any. What are they? Are they look like they're taking like a tax, like a toll? Or are they just like scanning stuff?
They're going to like a checkpoint,
Mhm.
and somebody's inspecting the stuff, checking manifests, that kind of thing, and then
I don't have anything like that.
but there's still like that's off to one side of it, and if you continue down the tunnel, there are other entrances and exits. But if you continue even farther, like the man suggested, that would be probably where you would find this thing.
So I could get through that without stopping, maybe,
Perhaps
with a good enough.
you can certainly try.
Okay, all right, bet. Kind of to Lucas,
He's gonna look down and say, "What's in your head? You hear, what's the plan?"
if I can get on the bottom of one of those mechanical cars, half of them are already pouring out enough smoke to, choke on. So if I can get in there and cause some damage, maybe I can make enough of a distraction to squeeze past everybody.
Um, you see as you're heading back towards that tunnel, walking out from that tunnel,
Mm,
an individual decked out in white, like armor that you are very familiar with.
okay.
Um, on their forehead is the number 12
Uh, in white armor?
in white armor.
Oh shit. Um, Lucas clocks that too?
Yep.
All right.
You need to duck it somewhere.
Okay. Um, is he kind of standing next to the
Lucas will actually step in front of you and turn to the side so that he's body blocking view of you.
Mhm. um hmm. What is he doing? Is he doing the same thing the orcs are doing? Is he walking out?
He's walking from that the old left new right,
Mhm.
and heading in towards the town. But he's generally like the general direction he looks like he's going is towards the ramp.
Okay. We're kind of coming back toward that. He's gonna walk in
Yeah.
front of us. Okay.
You guys are now literally cross paths.
Um,
Right now, no, because you've stopped off to the side and
okay. Um, kind of using Lucas as my body block. I want to try to like get to one side of the street, like right before we get to that middle part. We'll try to get to one side of the street and maybe tuck around a corner and kind of like let him pass and then try to go over it all.
give me stealth check. Advantage. This is for you and him.
20, 30, 20.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't look like he's out looking for you.
Okay.
It just happens to be a unfortunate coincidence.
Okay. So he's kind of just
But yeah, he as he's approaching the ramp, the dragon rider lifts the spear up, and he just waves, and the tips the spear back down, and he continues up the ramp.
hmm.
Almost like he's familiar here.
look at Lucas say, part of me really wants to see where he's going. We could go, hmm, make a note of it. I definitely want to check out where he went later. Um, yeah, I'll keep going the way we came toward the customs people, but I want to definitely go back and see what he was up to later. And now I know if I can like look like him or have somebody who looks like him. I can kind of get places maybe. Okay.
Yeah, no, you get into that tunnel again and start making your way in that direction. Nobody stops you as you pass through the checkpoint, and as you're going, you can see uh, it literally says like security only on some of the doors and things like that, and they're heavy metal, looks like possibly adamantine doors or door frames that look like this stuff has been crafted into the stone and anchored, so it's like even if you were to like attack the stone around it, it's probably got like the fantasy equivalent of rebar running through like
Adamantine rebar.
so like that's crazy
Yeah.
expensive. But you would know that this place being originally a dwarven mine, that you're in the what was originally the first construction of this place.
Okay. Yeah, it's got to be strong if it's dwarven. It's made to last. Okay.
Gotcha.
Um, as I'm making my way down this tunnel, um, does it look like I got lucky, or are they stopping like everybody else?
There's not a lot of people that are going past the checkpoint. So you guys kind of stand out with this.
Okay.
Do you wish to continue?
Mm,
Like you don't even see any guards coming and going at the moment.
okay. If I look, I don't see anyone else in this hallway with us. We just kind of walk past everybody. Shit. Do I see anywhere up this hallway or where we're walking this tunnel that is a place I could duck into that's not an adamantine door if I needed to hide? So I'm trying to avoid a.
It has like the I like the you know like you see like the train tunnel,
Mm,
it comes up and it's curved at the top. It's that, but it's very much so like if a literal giant were to walk through this hallway, his head wouldn't touch the ceiling.
okay.
It's a good 30 to 40 foot up,
Okay.
as it starts to reach the apex of that curve. And the walls that you see, the only thing that is broken in them is the spots where the doors are. I will say what stands out is there are several doors beyond like the handful of smaller doors that are on the left and the right of the hall. To the left, specifically, there are at least, from what you can see, two very large doors that would probably be big enough for dragons.
Just walked into the employee area. uh, okay.
You just walk backstage.
Yeah. Um, and he said the lab was this way?
He said Blue Industries
Yeah.
is based out of what was the
Little
old
industries. Mm. Oh man. And I'm like, did he say how far it was into this tunnel? No. He said on the right.
Go past the checkpoint, go past
Oh,
that, and you hit where the old entrance to that was the mine was where you're gonna find entrance to the.
all right. Well, we're just.
At this point, Lucas is gonna say, "Are you sure we want to go down this? It's not a good exit here."
I really want to get to the lab. Do you think there's a better way? Lucas.
We have we could either do it the fast way, and it's gonna be dirty, or we can do it the slow way, and we can get away clean.
I think the dirty way means that people
Mm.
know we're here. So maybe some touch would be uh, a reasonable evaluation. we'll kind of like just turn around. Well, we've stumbled on a make our way back to the thing.
Um,
Starting area.
yeah, you head back out the thoroughfare, out back into the city.
Longer until late game area or two.
Perception check, specifically just you.
Oh, at 12.
It's enough because he's pretty overt about it. The orc that's on the dragon that's guarding the ramp. You see, as you walk back out, he like looks in your direction and tracks your walk for a few seconds, and then before he goes back to kind of just staring at the crowd.
Okay. Um, no movement or acknowledgement of anything.
Same bored expression on his face. It's like a I'm a pissed off guard slash I'm stuck here sitting all day. Yeah, I'm on a dragon, but I've done this so many times. Since it's getting a little old and my butt's cold.
So now that we're kind of in this open area, me and Lucas, what do you think?
Did you have a contact here? Or somebody that you wanted to like reach out to? Do we have a foot in the door anywhere?
Well, in the sense that our feet are literally now inside of the doors. Yes. Otherwise,
Kind of winter.
yeah.
Right. It looks like he's got his fingers here on this level, there in the blue industries building, and we've got his obvious person going upstairs into one of the more nicer areas.
Mhm.
Um, maybe we avoid that for now. We try to go for the friends in low places approach.
Okay. Maybe somebody's going there and we could catch a ride. I wonder if Ben had like a shipment of wheels or something like that we could tag along with.
Right, like we've already found out that at least on this level they're interacting on a mercantile level.
Okay. All right. I'll glance back down that street, um, kind of into the city. Um, hmm.
It's interesting to see how it's very the roadway is wide towards the bottom, but the buildings they'll go up, right, and then they'll curve in a little bit. So like the as you get higher up, the buildings are closer together,
Okay.
and there's as not so much on like the immediate area, but you do see there are lines of things connecting like as you get higher up, in the just this merchant area that there are like almost like clotheslines or like decorations or things like that. There are lamps. This place looks like it will be lit at night,
Mhm.
and the lamps look like they're gas.
Okay.
They do not look magical, which you've come to find is the norm in the world. Whereas before they used to rely a lot more on magic. Since the Shattering, not so much.
Okay. Um, I want to try to take a walk down the street and see if there's anything that catches my eye that I feel like might be a friend in a low place.
Um, Alright. You make your way through, and as you get farther into the areas, you start hitting branches to where you're able to choose to go left, right, or deeper towards the docks areas.
Mhm.
Which path would you like to take?
Hmm. Do I know anything about the docks?
You know, there's a shipyard here.
Hmm. Is it run by the police orcs, do I feel like? Or is it more of like an open thing?
You're not sure, but you know that the orcs aren't like the owners of the docks. That's a for sure. That's something else. Someone else owns that.
My brain, if I'm looking for someone to take me a place or smuggle me a place, I feel like a shipyard would be a good place to find a smuggler.
At the docks area and try to
Yeah.
like get more seedy area.
Yeah.
Okay. There comes a point where you're going then down and there's a literal wall
Mhm.
with guards
Okay.
that are stopping some people and turning them away from coming back in.
Okay.
But they're not stopping anybody going out to the docks.
Okay.
You can see like the people that they're turning away are like they're clad in leathers, like a little shifty. Some of the people like they're like, I had my pass. I had my pass. Let me back in. It's like, no pass, you don't get in.
Okay. Hmm.
Are you still approaching that checkpoint doorway type area?
Do I see anything new?
Like business wise over here? Because you can tell everything you've seen up until this point has been some. It hasn't been residential. It's all been something to do with some sort of business, one way or the other. A lot of like, and it's funny because you think of fantasy adventure, that you think of, oh, there's the spell shops and the this and that. You haven't seen any of that.
Yeah.
This is like, oh, this is fine China stuff, and this
Yeah.
is people who have made
Like
like
selling furniture.
sculptures. And it's like, huh?
Okay.
And you saw a little bit of this in the Gnome City, and you've seen a little bit of this at the New Eberron, but you haven't expected the advanced level of the world to be.
Hmm.
We're like casual, comfortable, and living here. Like, what's up? What's going on?
I
Actually, on this one too, make a perception check. This is to see if you notice this tidbit.
sick. No, sorry. Perception?
Yeah.
Oh no, 4.
4?
Yeah.
You're laser like focused.
Okay. Well, I have a idea. Um, if I walk down, do I see like are the orcs taking passes like tickets, or are they taking passes and handing them
You
back?
have not seen them hand a pass out yet. And as they are letting people in, they're holding up a pass like it's an ID card, and then they're moving to.
Okay. Can I wait for somebody to have a pass to go through
Mm-hmm.
and then try to steal it?
Do you want to steal it, or do you want to have
Lucas should steal it. I'll even knock something over somewhere if it helps.
Please, rogue NPCs.
Let's roll some dice. Just a second. Pull this stuff up that I did not do that.
27.
Exploring this again. It's crazy. It's such a long time.
Okay.
Okay, it's better.
I'll have Jeremy. Why don't you roll me that d20 for his sleight of hand check?
15.
15. He has a natural +9 to that. That's a 24. Now I'm going to roll the opposed on the person to see if they can feel it. He bumps into the person and with his hands does nothing. Actually holds them and goes, oh, sorry about that. And you see hanging in the air as the person walks away, the pass, as he uses his telekinetic powers to just hold that in place as the person walks away.
Okay.
And he just quickly palms it in his hand.
What's it look like? Does it have any like?
Is it a card? Is it like a medallion?
Is it just like a card?
It is literally like a lacquered piece of parchment that has been made like hard by covering over and over again with like it's if you were like you could snap it like it's
almost like wax,
something
like that.
but it's like you've seen like the lacquered tables with the stuff in.
Yeah,
it's like that, but it's like a card suspended in like that.
Okay.
But it's a nice thick card too. It's almost like
no pictures or anything on it, right?
No pictures.
That's what I was asking. I was like, oh, no pictures, please.
But it says merchant on it, and then there's some symbols on the back that you can't make hydrogel.
So
language.
I'm gonna try to
It's not
take.
language, just actual symbols.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that pass and I'm gonna walk towards the checkpoint.
This is a refresher. They're not checking people leaving.
Yeah.
You don't have to show a pass when you're leaving.
Yeah.
It's not like you're coming back in.
What I'm doing is I'm looking for somebody who got just turned away, like, oh, I forgot my pass. And I'll be like, dude, come on, like, I had it. Like, they let me through. Like, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Someone who recently got turned away who's still there, who looks shady enough.
Okay. Um, how shady we talking about here?
Uh, I'm not really scared because Lucas is here, so as shady as I can find.
Okay. Um, you see a drow kid, like about 15 years old, 16. It's hard to tell the elves. Once they hit 14, they can be like 14 to 20. Like it's like there's a
Okay.
weird bracket. They all kind of look that age.
Okay.
Who's like literally patting his stuff. Like he's like checking his pockets. And Jeremy, the guards aren't letting you in. They're not letting you past. Um, you've hightailed it from the stack.
Right.
No one's following you as far as you can tell. Um, but your concern is that if you don't get out of this area, because you're pretty sure he knows you're here. And the person that you knew originally as Mr. Blue, recently found out his name is Grix. He has designs for you, and you do not want them. Yeah, so you recognize not only a shady individual, but someone you've seen in the past.
Okay.
Someone you thought was stuck
Mhm.
behind a wall of a magical mansion that they can't open.
Okay. I kind of like what exactly is he wearing that I wouldn't see?
He's wearing a black hoodie,
Okay. All right.
and like he has his sleeves pulled up. You can see bandages wrapped around both of his
Hands
arms.
wrapped?
You've never heard in your head someone chuckle before,
Yeah.
but you actually hear it from Lucas. Okay.
Um, I'll kind of like peek around, and I don't think I ever like personally met um
You
Neo.
you remember during
Probably
a daring escape
Yeah.
that he was when you guys were escaping on Dragonback that he was surfing essentially
Yeah.
on the neck of the dragon.
I never learned his name. I don't
Mm.
think though. Okay. So I'll walk up all confident.
You in your head feel a pressure. You've never experienced this before, but it feels like somebody like almost like you can hear somebody whispering really far away. That doesn't make any sense. Do you fight this pressure? Or do you allow it?
I'm gonna fight it.
Okay. Make a intelligence saving throw.
Oh shit. Okay. It's not pretty great. It's
Look at that.
very
Yeah,
Let's look at that.
most likely. Two.
Okay. That does not save.
Go.
And you hear in your head, okay, look directly forward and wait. Look through the entrance and wait. But you hear at the same time that he's projecting this into his head.
I will
He's just
walk.
gonna very concerned.
I will shoulders back, chin up, walk over to where I can see him just on the edge. And I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I took the pass. You didn't tell them? They didn't let you through? Come on, Dave."
The orc looks down at you. He's like, "You know this one."
Yeah, he's with me. Come on.
He squints his eyes. You got a pass? You say you know him. That's all I need. Just go, just go.
Come on. Come on.
And he's like, well, if anything comes up stolen today, I know who to look for. And he squints down at you.
I'm a thief. My bad.
I'll just give him the biggest crooked smile and just a thumbs up.
He actually
And I'll whip it around and just kind of let him fall into line with us and kind of try to walk the other direction. Um,
And you are?
you're familiar. Um,
Am I?
I'm guessing I didn't hit the nail on the head. Dave, what's your name?
Just go. We'll go with Neo. Most people can't say it, so
Okay, Neo. Um, how did you get here?
I took a train.
Okay. Um,
Back in New Everland.
are you from here?
In a way, yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get somewhere, and if you're from here, I was hoping you could help me get there.
I know a few people here. We can hopefully find them. It's not shouldn't be too bad. You look up, you see a harpy eagle perched on one of the buildings.
What does it look like? What colors?
It is mostly black with like this almost dripping like ink.
Like a black wash over like an
Yeah.
actual.
And you can like very they're usually gray, but like its head is like almost dulled because of the blackness. And it's almost dripping like
Like
it's
oil or like
yeah, like it's got
tar.
oil or like tar covering it.
Okay.
Correct.
Um,
Just
and
looking at Neo, what is his demeanor like? Is he looking left, right? Is he like,
stressed,
is he head down? He's
stressed out.
stressed. Okay,
Like
like visibly.
you can tell like he's looking up towards that eagle like almost every other like
Give me a
every
perception check for
couple seconds. For me,
Pretty.
for me or the eagle?
the eagle has advantage.
The eagle has a
Yeah, that literally have eagle eyes.
16.
It's a thing. 16. The eagle sees. You're at the point where multiple layers of the city kind of intermix before they start to really become different.
Mm,
That entry area starts to just clamshell off of each other,
right.
and as you go to the docks, you're going to get lower. It is going to slope down a bit,
Right.
so that like that middle gradient is a much bigger piece of this. The city itself is shaped like a C or a U,
Right.
because on the map it literally looks like a dragon's mouth, and that's where this thing got its name. But the thing that stands out, and what you get an impression from your eagle, through your bond that you have, is that there is somebody that you recognize from the stack and they're coming this way. Not through this gate, but through a different area, like at one of the side streets that's connected, like it runs parallel. And it was able to pick it out as it walked between two of the buildings.
Uh, was it clear enough that I could tell who it was, or was it just like someone's back?
You're pretty sure it was.
Like, can I differentiate the species? Like, is it
You
a human?
saw
Or
a humanoid with cat ears.
Hmm.
You know a lot of these, especially the way
Yeah,
this one was decked out with the black leather and like the black
collar?
like scarf around its neck
Okay.
that you've seen pulled up to cover the face.
Okay.
Uh, these are probably this is probably somebody who's connected to the Black Kingdom
How far?
through the gate and about a block away.
Think I found someone.
Do I kind of is he kind of looks? Do I catch him looking and try to see who's there too, or is that person just too quick?
Oddly enough, like when he looks in that direction, like you can also see the eagle like turning its head at the
Yeah.
same time, and he's staring at a wall. He's like looking at intently looking at a wall for a moment, and then gives you this information.
I kind of like look at him a little bit. It's like, okay, um, that way, just point.
Yeah, that direction.
You have to backtrack a bit and then take a street cut across.
Is Lucas still with us at this point?
I'm gonna keep the eagle flying overhead, see if I can find her again.
Just as we're walking down this alley, I'll kind of look at him.
You hear like a mumble in the back of your mind, like this is my bird.
You have one too.
Yeah, it's my brother's farm now.
Uh, okay.
It's a long story.
Speaking of long stories, um, I'll talk to you out loud. Um, how are your powers?
No, right. You were there. Uh, weaker. I used to be able to almost pull an entire separate version of myself. Now I'm down to that thing there. But honestly, it's a little bit more useful, so I'll take it.
You see, Lucas kind of like you used to be able to make a shadow of yourself,
Yeah? Why?
and now you're stuck with just being able to pull creature.
Yeah, that's what I've gathered so far.
Hmm. If from what happened with Rix and all those kids, he took a lot of their powers. Some of them weren't really hardly effective at all, but the ones that he really mined, like he drained them, he burned them out completely. There was no in between. So the fact that you have your powers means you should be able to do what you did before. If you can't, there's definitely a reason.
Could be mental block. I don't know.
When we get to a good place, maybe I could take a look.
I don't know how I feel about someone taking a peek at
Bird.
my body after what happened, but maybe.
Okay. Um, well, I'm glad you still have something, and there's some kind of positive.
I guess.
Because now we're reaching that intersection between that parallel road and the side street they're using to cut across. And there's a noise that draws your attention. Because there's one thing that you've seen flying around, it's been white dragon. You don't see like the enchanted flying broomsticks or people with magic boots or like carpets or any of that crazy stuff that
Right.
exists in this world. Um, but you hear like a
Fucking witch.
when it gets louder and you can see, especially since you've interacted with New Eberron and have seen gnome tech,
Okay.
there's a gnome like battle suit like flying across the sky, and it's headed from one of the upper decks down like a almost a 30 or 45-degree angle somewhere in that just as it's just kind of and using the thrusters to keep from just straight
Mhm.
falling. Um, and you see that white armored individual with the numbers in his forehead
Same numbers?
leaping through the sky, like dive like somebody skydived and straight shotting straight towards him. And then you realize as he adjusts in the sky that he is like his arms are back and he's flying like a bullet, but he is controlling his path and it's following that gnome tech.
Oh shit.
This looks like hostile interaction.
Is it
Either they're both headed in the same direction or one's following the other one. It's hard to tell.
is it the same number? Like, can the Eagle see
Yeah,
the same number?
yeah,
It's 12.
you're able to with the eagle eyes without a check. It's a 12.
Fucking great. Uh,
Ever since the broadcast from Bricks and the exposure to the world of Project Nightingale, they've been a lot more overt. You've been back in the city
for like
Jeremy,
the days.
for like almost 2 days at this
Right.
point,
Yeah.
and never before had you seen them walk the streets, and now you see people with numbers on their helms in this advanced-looking armor, walking around not commonly but openly.
Mm. So every once in a while, I'll see them like
Mhm.
pop out here and then.
You've
Okay.
also heard that Mr. Blue is no longer as reclusive. In fact, like I said, you saw him at Stack, the fighting pits.
Right.
That's unheard of.
Mm.
The fact that he would be there, and for what you thought was a safe place, it's turned out to be like, oh no, like, like what do we do with that?
Yeah.
But um, it's almost like hand like the cards on the table kind of situation. Is he's become public
Mm.
and now he's not hiding it anymore.
Okay.
Hiding what exactly? You're not sure, but you know that he had been abducting children with gifts and stealing or transferring their powers,
Right.
or at least copying them. So some of them.
Mhm.
Either way,
Me.
right? Either way, without these kids didn't want this.
Right.
They're stolen from their homes. Some of their parents were killed.
Mhm.
You know, he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
But the way he painted the what's left of Tower and the agents of and heroes of the world that are really still trying to do their job, despite the fact they're not organized anymore.
They're not perfect.
He's painted them all as villains.
Right.
Well, you know he's full of crap. However, there was a few things about what he said about the heroes and accountability and responsibility that have rung a little bit like, well, he's not completely wrong, but he's definitely not somebody you want them to get your hands on.
Right.
Okay. Um, and that interaction happened above us, like
Yeah, if you were walking straight down the road, it's like up, like to the right coming down, and it looks like it's headed towards the docks area.
oh shit.
Um,
As we're walking away, can we start to see any of that? If do they land where we can see, or
It's tough to make out because you're literally like talking about like watching a helicopter fly through the sky. You're not getting much details other than it's a helicopter. But you have a bird.
yeah.
The bird can fly.
Mhm.
Did you want to send it up there to look?
Yeah, my intention is to have it like go from building to building on top of the rooftops,
Okay.
just like scouting.
Give me another perception check from them.
can I guide him?
Absolutely.
Guides.
Okay. That is a D3.
Remember the eagle has advantage.
It's a 26.
26.
It's a net 20.
All right. You're able the bird's able to like swoop up and down between the buildings,
So I chose a hard one
like
because it's short wings.
yeah, to and able to like do like the dive up and then flare the wings up and use it. It's just to continue like a almost like a Super Mario with a cake flight pattern, just bouncing around. In your head, you can't help but hear the even though it's not making that noise. Yeah, you see it. That guy's you can't see the face because this the armor is very closed
Right.
and you can't see into this opaque black metallic helmet. And it's just he's still like without deviation. Every time this thing moves, he is locked onto the back of this machine. The machine itself, as you're getting closer to it, it looks from being in New Eberron for a brief amount of time, you've seen these things walking around, and they looked fantastic. The metal work on it was smooth, and this thing looks it's all flat angles and rivets and old flaked off paint, and it's like a crappy green, and it's got an open canopy in the middle.
Okay. No pilot?
The pilot is a gnome. Um, you can't tell who because it's got a helmet on.
Mhm.
But it is definitely like a gnome.
Okay.
You can't tell if it's a male or female because of the wind and the goggles and the helmet and everything else.
Right.
But you can definitely make out like a furrowed, like a focused face
Mm.
enough to know that it's like it's this doesn't look like a happy interaction.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Through the connection that you guys share, you would be able to have that relayed to everybody else.
Yeah.
Um, you see this gnome's face and enough to recognize that you don't know it. It's not one of the two people you're here to find.
okay.
The markings on the armor are old gnome like infantry armor. This was a gnome military thing that existed back. This is like 30, 40 years old.
Mm.
This armor.
So does
It's
the
not
gnome
in service anymore.
the gnome's going to the docks? Does he look like she's gonna try to
Escape.
is he trying to escape the
He's definitely trying to avoid the thing. Like you see him, he'll correct his like alter his course, and the guy will continue to move. He's not gaining. The not 12 is not gaining on the suit, but he is maintaining the path behind him to keep up and trail him.
and this all happens in the moment that we see that guy disappear around the corner. The black hand guy that we saw.
This happens right after, as you guys
This is
are.
as we're
You're
like
you're trying to
following.
intercept with that person.
Okay. Okay.
Should I do another check to see if I can find them?
Well, as you're watching this in the sky, you actually hear a, and you see that cat person essentially looking at you guys from across the street.
Across the street.
Like to your left,
Okay.
because you're on that pathway between the buildings. Then it was you would have. Or sorry, they would have been to your left, coming from that way. They're already at that corner,
They have eyes on us.
looking right at Neo.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the?
Uh,
Can I roll insight to see what that relationship is?
Sure.
It's not my first check, but it's not important. 16.
16 doesn't feel like a
Still.
hostile. Yeah,
sorry, I was gone for a while.
you're fine. Um, Ken's been worried about you.
I would imagine.
Because she's gonna walk across the street to join you guys, so that she's not shouting across.
I,
As she gets closer, I'll kind of just like tuck my hand in my shirt.
And she's not. She'll glance up at what's going on and like so about to lose visual perspective on it from the buildings of these two things chasing, like being chased,
Okay.
both like searing through the sky.
Okay. I'm kind of just tucked into my hoodie, just kind of watching this guy in case he or she did anything weird. I'll let them talk it out if they let me know each other.
can I roll perception to see like what he's doing?
Absolutely, roll sleight.
8.
Oh, 11. Neither of us roll better.
What I'm doing?
Yeah.
There's definitely a weapon. there's a
Unless you want both of us to die, don't do that. Do not do that.
just like as the person's walking over and I hear that I'm like out of the corner of my mouth, like I'm not doing anything.
If I can see it, she can see it.
How do you know you're not standing in front of me?
No, I can see it. See it in her ear flickers.
I just kind of like flick around.
You're fine.
Um,
I understand. It's best to be prepared.
I've been through a lot. Can we just go home?
Yeah. Just kind of curious why you're headed this way. You just bolted from the stack.
Yeah, I was. Part of the rough time was there. So, Mr.
I'll let you tell. He just wants me to bring you.
Okay. Glad it was you and not him.
Oh, he's busy. She's got him doing all kinds of stuff right now. There's something brewing, and we're gonna have to deal with something sooner rather than later. But that's up for him to tell you. As she starts to turn and like sashay back down the road a bit
Right.
as her tail swishes.
I kind of lean over and like, who is the he that we're talking about? Like,
The blue guy?
is that who you're talking
I'm
about?
sure. Well, yeah, I'm glad she found us and not him.
No,
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
she said like Ken though. She said something about Ken.
It's my dad's brother.
Is he
Her subordinate.
is he helpful?
I mean, he's always been to me. Never really seen him with strangers that much, so.
Okay.
It's at this point you notice that in the time frame where she's come over to talk to you guys and turned and interacted, and is heading back, you look over and you don't see Lucas.
Okay.
And you know he's done this kind of thing before. He did it on the entry and into the city, but you've experienced that Lucas is a sneaky type.
Yeah,
Um,
he's never too far.
yeah.
Speaking while we're talking about her, uh, did she? I know she's clearly got a shared relation with him. Am I able to identify that organization she's a part of? Like
History check. See
someone
if you were
else
able to gather
involved?
that information from the quick notes you took before you.
Just tell me. 17.
17.
Oh god, I got myself.
God,
I got used to that. 30-20.
all right, 30-20 is pretty good. So yeah, you fill up the guidance, and I think it's like the next minute or something. You have like that for all knowledge history checks. It's
My brain.
it boosts your recollection.
From caffeine.
From your binge studying of stuff. Right? Um, you know that there are several cartels,
Mhm.
13 major ones that sit on the circle of cartels.
Okay.
No one is actually in charge of the city. The 13
Okay.
share this. Um, there's a
Share.
like almost like an unofficially the 14th cartel is the orcs.
Okay.
But they're not actually a member of the deciding votes of
Right.
anything. But they
They're more
are
like the
at the
police
meeting
force.
because they help to implement any of the decisions made as well.
Okay.
Um,
So
there's
yeah, literally like police
there's
force.
while the city is
Enforce.
decked out in like what appears to be like this is a mercantile district and this is entertainment and this is the shipyards and the docks because there's the in the middle of the bay is an island that is the shipyards.
Mhm.
There's a nicer side of town, and as you continue around the U and get past that last third of the U, quarter of the U ish, it's when you start getting into the slums. You start getting into the shadier side of things. That's where you find the thieves. Um,
Yeah.
like you got your
Guild.
it's guild, but it's a cartel. It's the thieves cartel and the assassins cartel are really close to each other in the wheel of things in the city. You have several noble houses that have their families,
Mm.
and in these families, they of which the Black Hand is part of one. They because of their influence sit on the cartel's circle. There are several gangs in the shadier side of town,
Right.
but there are several straight up like mafia style level families
Okay.
in like the upper levels.
Okay.
So they have fine estates, they have mansions, they have the residential complexes that house, their people.
Right.
The Black Hand also has, or had, I should say, area up there. But a long time ago, at this point, it's over 20 years, there was a planar incident involving the fire plane and some bad decisions, which essentially created almost a catastrophe that wiped out the city.
Mm.
Sounds like a fun
But,
Friday night.
but all of that estate of the Black Hand's family is gone.
Oh shoot.
So they don't stay up there anymore so much, but they generally can be found in the entertainment district.
Okay.
Despite the fact that they are in fact assassins and contract killers, hitmen, whatever term you want to use at this point.
Mm.
They don't just take jobs straight for money. Money is involved, but they have to ensure that it is to the wills of their patron. And the leader of this family is a devout follower of the Whisperman. So if it doesn't keep in with his agenda, she's probably not going to take the job. But there's plenty of other people who are willing to put a dagger in somebody's back and even for that.
Right.
This person's unkillable. I need them taken out. Well, if the reason is correct, then they make it happen.
Right.
So
Okay.
And it's at this point where you would actually notice that on Neo's hood, you can see a red handprint, like directly on the left side of his hood.
Is there anything I would
and
recognize?
the palm of it is a circle and then a red dot.
Um,
If it's the red hand and on his hoodie since it's black, it would be a black circle and then more red in the center.
Yeah.
I kind of like look at that and I think to myself like, "Oh, really picked the shadiest one, didn't we?" All right. I'll kind of look at him. Are we gonna follow your friend or
I would like to see my uncle. I
okay?
kind of spent God knows how many weeks away from him.
Following now behind her, there you can tell like on her armor there used to be something on her back. Make a investigation check to see if you can connect the dots on that. It looks like there was something like either stitched into the armor or like was on the armor is no longer there.
11.
11? I'm not quite 100% sure what it was, but this it's definitely had something there before, but it's not there anymore. But there's enough like loose pieces of what the wire threading that stick out on a couple of spots that like if you weren't looking for it you wouldn't notice it, but you as a crafts person notice details.
If he's gonna follow, I'll let him go and I'll say lead the way and I'll tap him on the shoulder and I want to try to double Anton.
You want
Just one Anton. Okay. Try to, I don't know if I have to do anything for that.
to you just don't put an arm behind
No, like one of the ants.
oh okay
Auto footing.
okay this would be a sleight of hand check versus your perception.
No.
Because the ant is so tiny you do have advantage on this one. This weekend would be very difficult to notice.
I got a dirty 20.
He's the eagle.
I'll get out of here.
Eagle's still following.
Nothing. 8.
14.
Okay. Um,
I'll just have it sit and go into the center of that little eye and just lay down. Just sit there.
Well, since that didn't work, I'm actually going to call back the eagle. So,
like meanwhile, and you go back to the eagle. The eagle's gone enough with him to where it can see, because the way the walls work here, you could go over the checkpoint walls into the other parts of the city if one were so inclined. But as these guys have now passed through one of those like barriers in the city, you see several white dragons swooping down to join this. Whatever's happening, the guards are getting involved.
okay. Yeah, as I call back the eagle, it's going to like land on one of the buildings. It's going to like melt away into like this liquidy pool of shadow. And then it's actually going to join up with my feet. And you might be able to notice.
It just
Roll
pops out
perception.
of your shadow.
No, you'll notice that my shadow actually came back. Like I'd never had it the entire time.
Nat 20.
Yes.
Yeah. While you guys have been walking, it wasn't something you noticed before, but as it literally inks out of his
Shadow man.
feet, yeah, it's,
I kind of like look at it, but he doesn't look surprised by it, so
Wasn't there one that could clone himself?
yeah. He almost uh, he almost stabbed me.
Yeah,
All of him.
that would have came from me. That one would have came from me. I would say sorry, but it's not like I wanted this, so
Just off rip. Do I get like any kind of a begrudging vibe from you?
not towards you. Maybe in general, like his attitude's kind of like
General distaste.
general distaste for everything.
Okay. I relate to that. Okay. So let's try to keep up with the cat lady, I guess. See where she's headed.
Yeah.
you make your way back to the direction that you came to intercept with her and go farther around to where you're heading away from the shady side of things, away from the stack, away from all of that stuff over in that area, in the docks, and it's heading more into like the about to escape the mercantile area and the shop districts and head into the entertainment area.
Okay.
You know the place is based out of a casino.
Yeah.
So, um,
Oh boy. Stick out like a sore thumb in here.
you see and hear both the flashing lights and the sounds of coins clinking and the murmur from the crowd as you're approaching. Um,
To help her not stick out as much, I'm gonna like crouch down really quick and like reach my hand into my shadow and pull out like a black blob. It's literally like you can see a chunk of the shadow is missing. Just gonna throw it on top of her
yeah,
and it's gonna like color her hoodie black, and you'll see like the black hand symbol on the chest.
nice.
Yeah.
Doing the illusory
Is that
shadow
minor
pattern,
illusion?
so
What is that?
Gosh, the thing.
Okay. All right. I keep my hood up. That's the best I can do. Yeah.
look around. You still don't see look.
Okay. If I kill him,
But you still feel the connection in the back of your mind of the psionic link that he throws up.
Someone's gonna spot your friend eventually. It's not gonna be us.
Yeah, another one.
You say that. I know some of the people here. I know most of them, in fact.
do I spot like we're walking up on a casino?
You are. Not just a casino. You have walked up and now you're seeing, like I said, it's entertainment areas. Now you're seeing a lot more taverns. You're seeing a lot more like places where like there's tracks. There's actual tracks where they race animals and things like that. And there's a couple of them where they look like there might be some things that fight each other in these little things or whatever.
Okay.
You know that the stacks are like the premier place to see like blood sport.
Right.
But then there's also places where you can see
Cage fights.
right, and where they're not trying to have the people or the animals or whatever that's fighting die,
Yeah.
but it's like like bullfighting kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to do a certain amount of things. And granted, bullfighting they actually are trying to kill the bull, but like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. But the thing that stands out is the fact that this particular building, the face of it, runs not only the like from floor to ceiling of this level, but continues up past it. It's one of the few places in the city that is a double structure that exists on multiple floors at the same time. So this is going to be in the um, like the nobles district and the entertainment district, depending on which area in the building that you're on. Just like how the stack has a division with the crystal, the barrier that the nobles and the gangsters can be up
Right.
in that area, and you have the common people or the cheap seats down below.
I'm gonna like look up towards like the noble district and like unconsciously say this out loud. I hope she didn't miss me too much.
This is the only building I can see that it's on 2 floors. That immediately is good. Uh, is there anyone standing outside?
Well, there's a lot of people coming and going, and there are some guards, which you would expect. Different species than what you would like. There's a burly, almost like a looks like he's like 2 steps away from becoming a tiger. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it looks like the same kind of species as your guide has been, but the like a physical version versus maybe like she's a little bit more nimbly.
Okay.
Jumping around like a cat. But he definitely stands out and gives off bouncer vibes.
Okay.
He's not just decked out in like the black armor that you saw her in. He's got like fitted clothes that are like meant to accentuate the put on display that this is a
Scary.
muscle dude, whatever, but with a larger jacket over the top, like very much giving off like a 20s bouncer vibe.
Okay.
Um, to the other side of the entrance, you see in a very similar attire, and it is black on black
Mhm.
with the black tie, like almost not like a black tie, but there's like there is something akin to a tie, almost like the Wild West where they had like they would pull it, like that kind of thing. They had that, but it's like the black with a black vest and the black over top of that. But it's like you can definitely tell, possibly armed too. But the other person, you recognize the bluish gray skin of a Goliath
Huh.
as like completely, no hair as is akin to the rest of their species. But standing there, like also with arms crossed, just watching people come and go.
Okay. I kind of look at him and like,
What's your guys' passive perception?
it's a great question. I didn't write.
11.
What is your wisdom?
My wisdom. It's -1.
It's like 12.
Okay. Um, it does stand out enough with that you would notice. The only non-black piece of like anything that they're wearing is a silver earring. There's a dangly silver cat paw hanging from their ears.
That's cute. Does he have one of those?
No.
No. Okay.
You can see there's a piercing in his ear, but like he's not wearing anything.
Um, as you approach, your escort throws up her hand in greeting to the big cat guy. He just nods you guys in. He doesn't even throw his hand. Just does the bouncer nod.
Good.
The building is ostentatious. The front entrance is lit up. It's gilded with precious metals and gems that are lights will hit them from different angles to make them flash all different kind of ways. It gives off a Vegas
Okay.
casino entrance vibe, 100%. And you step in, and there's you have never seen machines built for entertainment purposes, but there are things like there are machines with levers to the side of them that people keep pulling things and like putting coins in. There are tables where people are playing some different card games. There's
I love gambling.
oh yeah, it's this place is crazy. And walking through, you see several other people decked out in the bouncer attire with
Yeah.
all with the same earring attached.
You would just say Clementine with like huge eyes, like lights reflecting off her eyes, like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. Is there any like machines that look like not like physical wheels, but like electronic, like computer gambling?
The funny you say that. You immediately feel almost like you're used to hearing now at this point Lucas in your head,
Yeah.
but your whole life you've kind of had that already
Mhm.
involving certain types of machines.
Yeah.
And the machines with the pull handle are not stupid machines.
Yeah.
These things, they're kind of they give out wins when they want to,
Yeah.
or when they're supposed to, and you can feel just by being as you're walking through that there is an intelligence to them. They're not super smart,
Yeah.
but you could communicate with them using your gift.
Yeah. Okay. Our guide is kind of walking past. Do I see anybody at one of those? I could try to.
Oh, there's this place is always like it is busy to the point where like there might be like two or three machines open at any given time, but the rest of them have people sitting at them pulling them. And it's so crazy to see the variance in attire where you see some people who are like you're straight out of a fantasy thing. Like there's literally a lady wearing like a fantasy like dress, but like the noble like a riding dress or whatever. But then you also see like next to her is like an orc warrior
Okay.
who's like got gold earrings all through his ears and like a gold hoop through his nose and like stacks of gold chains and a big old mohawk. Just like just like show me the coin, clapping his hands.
I want to look around. Is there anybody that looks like anybody close to our path as we're walking that looks like they've been here a while? Like they're focused.
So that's an insight or perception. We're gonna go inside on this one because now you're gauging like body language.
Uh,
Yeah.
Insight, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Oh my goodness. Um, actually, yeah. Uh, you see, and this, you don't see a lot of these out and about, but you see a dragonborn.
Dragonborn?
A dragonborn.
What
From
color?
what you've heard, these things are very, very rare.
Yeah.
But no, you'll see a brass dragonborn.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, bronze.
Cross. Okay.
I missed it. Bronze dragon.
I wanna, as I'm walking by the
And you
machine.
know, it has been brass and bronze dragons both
Yeah. They
were
got messed up.
they were eliminated from the world during the invasion.
Yeah.
From the war previous. But things that occurred after defeating the corrupted Shadow King, there was a convergence of things that happened from multiple worlds involving this one, and Drax Arcadia never quite understood what happened on like a person to person in the world level. They just knew that the world did some crazy stuff again,
Okay.
and then cracked and broke apart, and now it's being held together by a giant tree in the center of it.
Stuff just
But
gonna happen.
yeah, it just happens. And at this point, like, there's the level of magic's been so high that common people just accept a lot of things. But it also caused during that time frame, magic isn't reliable, which is why technology began to rise in use and dependence on the common level of things. Um, but the just having a bronze dragonborn, what is the bronze is the fire or is it lightning one?
Lightning.
Lightning. To that, and there's a lot more meaning to that, but we'll get into that as you guys progress.
As I walk past this guy, I want to kind of like go peek over his shoulder, and then as I walk past, I want to try to like brush my fingers along the side of the machine, and I want to try to whisper to it. Can I like? Do I feel like I could?
You reach out
Okay.
and connect to it using your technomantic connections.
Okay.
It does require your focus and your. It's very difficult to do this subtly.
Okay.
Um, but nobody's really gonna probably expect this. It's not something like you would, as you're walking up, begin to make the hand signs,
Mhm.
you know, and palm it, and there's a brief like you would misstep in that moment, like you have to pause in your pacing, but then continue on. And what's your save DC?
My spell save. 13
It's wisdom, correct?
for a charm person. Yeah.
You said it's what?
It was a 13.
13?
Yeah.
They have -2 to their save.
Okay.
They're not wise.
All
Not wise.
right.
So with that gives me a 12.
Okay.
So you're in there. What are you? It now this machine has shifted it's not like a suggestion spell where you're like, go home and rethink your life. No, it's he's not the George you're looking for. It is now the machine is friendly towards you.
Okay. I want to whisper to it, and I want to say, hello. I want to say, now introducing tonight's big winner, this guy.
Um, give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Can I roll perception to see if I see this happening?
Absolutely.
Her eyes glow a little bit blue.
17.
It's not hard to do. It's hard to understand what it is you're looking at, but it's not hard to see it.
Persuasion?
With advantage.
16.
16? Yeah. And then as you see the dragonborn runs its hands through its fins on the side of its face. One more, I'm going home. Puts the coin in. like he's just it's like tunic, like trying to kiss him. And, like people are starting to like come up, like oh, like he's like, he pulls out a hammer and starts like crackling with like just like
I want to like kind of like jump away and like let the I'll drop the
Chaos
concentration. Yeah,
ensued.
I just wanted to try it. I just wanted to push it. It's been a while, so I'll let that. I'll kind of in this frenzy of big winner try to get away and get back to you know.
I said, it only took like a step or two
Yeah.
to like keep from being in pace, but then yeah, you're doing. You noticed that eyes glued, palmed the thing, whispered something, paid out money.
Huh. We're not too different, I guess.
You're taken past a couple of security doors. They don't even hesitate. They don't stop you guys. Who you're with, they just let you walk right through. Um, into it's still nice back here. It's almost like walking through like a fine hotel. And the way like the walls are set up and it's all carpeted and then there's like this weird like non-directional music playing somewhere. You don't have no idea where it's coming from. Um, but no, you walk past a couple of places where it looks like they're counting stacks of coins, and uh like working on there's some sort of paperwork voucher system that they use here too, where you can prepay and like there's like chips, just like you'd expect in a casino and
Right.
things like that. But you get past those ones in those rooms, and you get into what looks like almost security area, where there's like holding area. That you could definitely tell that like this glass is reinforced, if it is glass.
Yeah.
It's again unusual to see this level of technology in a place where people cast fireballs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's unusual, but it's becoming more and more
More and more,
common.
yeah.
But where the money is, you see the advancement first, and then it trickles down to the rest of society. So it's like, okay, cool. But no, she walks over to one of the doors, opens it, and goes, "Wait here. I'll send out Ken."
Thanks.
As we're waiting, I kind of try to like go like this with my hoodie and try to like get some of the black stuff that he put on it. Like what is the viscosity
It's
constant we're dealing with here?
like tar.
Is it actually like wet or is it like
Yeah, it's wet. It's liquid.
like stretch it and like let it go and like fall back?
And then
Kind of like shake it.
as you do that, I'm just gonna put my hand on your shoulder, and then it's gonna seep back. This entire time, like as he's been walking, he's had like one of his feet missing from his shadow.
Nice. Okay. She kind of like adjusts and like kind of shakes off a couple drops, like a little bit of lint.
It doesn't stain, so you're all right.
Okay. Um, Are there like you said this was like a checkpoint? It's like
She leaves you here in the room, but she doesn't close the door.
okay,
It's actually left open. You have a feeling if she did, you might not be able to open it.
okay.
You might, but most people might not. You know what I mean?
Can I look and see like just on either side of the door, like what's out in the through there?
Every once in a while, you see people like walking through the corridor.
Okay.
Some people pushing like carts with coins and stacks of like boxes on them. Like,
Mostly
but they're like,
employees though.
but you can probably tell they're like cash boxes. Definitely, this is the definitely. No, this is the employee crew security. This is if you're not part of what's going on here, you're not supposed to be back here.
Okay, gotcha. No police or anything like that.
No, I
Around.
mean, just bouncers.
Okay.
But as a couple of them walk past as you're like looking around and whatnot, and it is like they just nod and keep walking.
Yeah.
Like nobody's what are you doing here or whatever. Like it seems like
Surely they recognize me, right?
it also
Even a
seems
little
like
bit.
they all kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that does stand out is as one of the security guys is walking past, you see him reach up and touch his ear where the earring is, and go, "All right, I'll be right there."
Hmm. Okay. Um.
You see coming down the hallway because you're peeking out there. Um, how would you describe Uncle?
Tall. Like he's human, so like he's like 6'3". Not super like buff, but like pretty athletic looking dude. Um, Long hair down to about his shoulders. Big, like maybe not full beard, but beard. Um, and he always is like decked out, like dripped out, fucking suit and tie, always, 100% of the time.
Kind of giving off like Yakuza vibes.
Yeah, 100%. He's got the tattoos, but you can't really tell because he wears gloves. He has fingerless gloves though, so you can kind of see like the tattoos peeking out from on his fingers.
You got like a watch, like a really nice watch.
Yeah,
Get the rolly.
yeah, bro. Earlier, obviously. No, it's Gucci. It's a Gucci dive watch.
It's no need.
The finest
Gucci dive watch.
gnome clockworks. I
Five
gotta
thousand.
hack a
He got it from
smartwatch.
the Amazon.
I have to hack a
5,000.
smartwatch.
It's a delivery service.
Okay, so I see that guy coming down. Does he look like annoyed that he has to come do this? Does he look complacent? Does he?
Very neutral expression on his face, but the way he moves, you can like
He carries himself.
you've seen scrappers and you've seen like warriors.
Okay.
This guy moves like a warrior.
Okay.
He's got like that confident glide to his gait.
Mhm.
There's a lack of fear
Okay.
that radiates from him more than anything else.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will.
He's gonna see you.
Yeah, I'll duck back in and just kind of like tuck around the corner. And,
Then he comes. He walks in and nods at you. Says hello. You're new. And shuts the door behind him as it's done. There's like an interrogation room would have, the table, one chair on one side. Uh, at this point, there's a couple of chairs against the wall and one in front of the other side of the table.
I will take whatever chair is like in the corner, like away, kind of like climb onto it, and just kind of let my feet kind of wiggle. Just kind of nervous.
Um, I'm gonna walk up and hug him.
He'll actually stand back up to that and I was really worried about you.
Sorry.
This isn't your fault. We were not attentive enough, and you were seized by Mr. Blue.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you had eyes on me when everything happened, but I still don't know where Dad is. And then he found me, asked me a few questions, and when I refused, I woke up in a lab. So,
We have investigated the crime. It is unfortunate he has chosen the way he has chosen. He has been given. He chose to betray you. He, he has chosen. He has chosen coin over blood.
22.
Hmm?
22.
22. First off, the track's hard to beat, but not that hard.
Okay.
He, what you get from this is there's an emotion that he's blocking,
Mhm.
but he essentially lost a family member because of this, and he thought he lost two.
Mhm. Okay.
So,
But he's being honest about for the
yeah,
most
he
part.
doesn't come off as false.
Okay.
I'm not, I'm not entirely surprised.
He actually put a hand on your shoulder, and looked at you straight eyed. Was your father never appreciated what you did, what you're capable of. Your gifts are rare. Your potential is beyond was is beyond what he could comprehend.
Even so, as my dad was, is, I don't know. They blew His name is Grix, and stole part of me. I'm gonna like slowly unwrap the bandages and show they're still like mostly fresh wounds because he just got out of there. Um, this one was telling me that there was one who could clone himself, and let me guess, when they died, broke apart or whatever, they splashed into black liquid.
Oh yeah, you did a lot of dying.
It's not too different then.
You will know justice with this. Just give us time to do it properly. You do not go against one of the great houses in the cartels and expect to walk away without a scratch.
How's everyone else here?
Things have been, for the most part, business as usual. We had a rough day a little while back. Somebody decided to put up a giant projection in the sky and change their mode of operation.
I know I have no right to give you orders for anything, but if you see any of those numbered ones, kill on sight.
Currently, we're just tracking them.
You,
But I'll take your advice into consideration.
you know, I, I would never want anyone to die, especially because of me, but those things, they they are what they say they are.
Just from how Mr. Blue operated here within the city before the great reveal, we knew. We knew.
Okay. The minute looks the same. Not a care in the world.
Despite my oh,
No, you're fine. I didn't want to interrupt. I'll try not to interrupt the monster.
is that forgiveness, please. I'll speak your mind. You're a guest.
Well, I haven't been here that long, but kind of operating on the shared agendas so far. Uh, I kind of want to mess with Mr. Blue a little bit as well. Uh, I'm looking for one of his like facilities. Um, that's kind of why I snatched up um, your nephew there. Um, could you help me by any chance get in the right bearing?
Facility, you mean his industrial complex?
Just wherever there's lots of science and wheels and gnomes.
Yes. No. Oh, you looking for other no,
Yeah,
not just his stuff. You're looking just for
like gnomes doing science.
oh,
Weird science.
there's a few gnomes in the city.
Monster.
That do like alchemical work and stuff in some of the mercantile districts, and
Well,
there's a few gnomes that do that work in the shipyard. But it was not. It's not like a hub of science that you're talking.
do you know of any like
Then again, he pauses. We have never been inside Blue Industries, and it
I
is what used to be the mining complex that the doors had here in the city.
I don't like your inflection on that. Sounds like you want. Sounds like he wants in.
I think first we need to gauge what your capabilities are at the moment.
I am not capable of anything.
We'll find out.
I
Um,
disagree, but you're not helping. He's my uncle. I'm
you
not gonna lie
want
to
our
him.
help. I need to make sure that you're helpful as well. And I'll pass this on to Sydney.
Um, yeah, like any spare weapons, just in case.
You actually want to be armed now.
I guess, yeah. I can I can handle a bow and a scimitar. Don't you know where I learned? So it's not worth talking about right now.
He actually will, from his own belt, he'll pull uh, short, like a baby version of a katana. Um,
Kawakizashi.
yeah,
Wakazashis, yeah.
and
Kawaki
he'll hand it
slash.
over to you. He goes, "This is a short sword for now."
Okay. Yeah, a little bit different from what I'm used to, but yeah, this is fine.
Um, when he looked at me, just like, what is Uncle's outlook on me?
Like I said before, it's difficult to read. But when he looked over at you, it was like watching you were weighed, measured, and evaluated all in that instant.
Okay.
And he doesn't, but he's offering
Hmm. Um, I I'm trying to play the child card. I'm a little bit more mature than I'm willing to let on, but I kind of want to keep that demeanor, kind of let him see that, let him underestimate me.
you. At this point, he's going to sit back down, steeple his fingers, look over them at you. What are you able to do? I'm familiar with his kids' ways.
I can open doors like really easily. So if there's a door, yeah, I can open doors. Um,
As you're answering questions, he's also looking at him,
okay.
like a quick glance over at him.
Uh, I don't want to appear too useful to this guy, but useful enough. I have. Uh, if you get me near a computer, I can do all kinds of crazy things. Yeah. So
Interesting. Well, let's test out exactly what you're able to do. But first, sure, you've come a long way to get here. You've been through a lot. Get you some rooms, get you some rest. We'll take care of this in a moment.
Um, Speaking of my capabilities, I guess they're highly diminished. I can't clone myself anymore.
It's okay.
Best I've got is this, and I'm gonna pull out the eagle.
He's kind of, like he recognizes the eagle.
mm,
Like he's seen this eagle before. And like he's like, I think what you're dealing with is temporary.
I hope so.
But if not, we learn to do what we can with what we are able.
I guess that's true.
He stands up, and before, like, he walks to the door and he reaches for the door, and before he touches the handle, you hear like a click, and then he puts his handle on it, and the door opens.
did I catch? Hey, bug.
And
Whoa.
our special guest,
Hey, let's not do that. It's our mascot, everybody.
mascot.
Making her first appearance. Um, was it like something and something innately technological
Guest.
that I can feel? Was it like a chip, or is it like a?
It was not. So you can you pretty sure that it was a magical effect.
Okay, gotcha.
You know this guy's not magic. You
Okay.
know he doesn't use magic, but sometimes people can give him magic things that so it's just like the bouncers all you can pretty sure that's a magical area.
Hmm. I yeah, I'll kind of follow a couple steps behind him. Like I know him, but I don't know him, so I'm kind of trying to.
He'll take you through the back area, up some stairs, and then to an actual lift that you've seen, like not as advanced as the ones from some of the bases that you've interacted with that were connected to Mr. Blue, but
Yeah.
old timey like I guess the 20s era elevators. Just in it, there's an attendant,
Okay.
rattle traps. It's like
Is there like a open part where I could see the city, or is it closed?
it's inside the building,
Okay.
but you're brought up for a while. You're not sure because of the way the what you see moving past you in the elevator and what that actually means. Like, is it floors when I see this, or is this like level? But no, you're brought up, and he's like, and he just nods to Ken, and you guys continue on. You're in a you go through a set of double doors that you can see are like push open.
Mhm.
Then when they close, you hear a loud click, and there isn't a handle on the doors on the other side of it.
Okay.
It's just flat, like the doors come like almost like a security door. But what you walked through before vibed a hotel. This vibes a fancy schmancy, like expensive hotel. There's
Like penthouse almost.
there's like fancy moldings and stuff along the baseboards and the walls. There's like it's really classy looking wallpaper of different cats. There's like tiger looking creatures and lions and
Oh my.
pumas, yeah, and no bear. But no, like all done in like a gold calligraphic style, like artistic like rendition of the animal. But they're all like little things. So as you're walking along, it just looks like this nice red wall with gold cats.
Mhm.
Okay.
Below the midline of the wall, it's black.
Okay.
The along the molding and stuff is a deep like a reddish brown like wood.
Okay. Do the cats and like the way they're calligraphied look like? Is it a familiar art style? Is it like a traditional thing, or is it just more of a cool design?
Not sure.
Okay.
Um, but definitely it's definitely like an artistic rendition of like them in motion.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I figured as much.
But he takes you down the hallway to the very end. He he reaches his hand over the handle that's there, and you hear the loud click noise again, and he opens one door. Uh, two rooms.
Yes, please.
Okay. Um, here's the first one, and you step into a suite. There's a big like receiving area with like seats that are like curved around like a central coffee table looking thing, and just glass window on one side that looks out onto the city.
So as I round the corner to come into this suite, I want to try to drag an ant. You said the wall, one of the walls are really dark, around like where I'm standing. I want to try to blend an ant in on the wall outside of
Yep,
the room.
no problem. You said you were kind of in the back.
Yeah, 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 it's kind of walking behind them, and then like as I come toward the doorway, I want to try to leave one in the darker patch right next.
I'm not even gonna make you make a check. Investigation. Uh, what? No, he's like, yeah. Rest up. I will keep this door locked until the morning. I'm not a prisoner, but you need someone to escort you around if you're gonna leave the room.
I'll just look at him when he says that, and like kind of like
If you doubt it, I will give you my word.
They took all my shit, so I don't know why you're looking at me. Hence, empty ear.
Um, kind of just step in the room. We can just kind of look up at him.
It's the fanciest place you've ever been in.
Yeah.
It's insane. Off to the side, in like a little side room that you can see that connects to it, is like a giant bed.
Okay.
And you're just like, you're looking around, and I mean, it's not like a modern hotel room, like as far as like our current like real world standards, but it's something fancy schmancy, like
All right. I'll just kind of like I'll look at all that. Uh, I'll just step in and I won't display any like excitement or anything. I'll just kind of look up at Ken and just let him close the door or whatever he's gonna do.
if you need anything. There's a bell, he points, and there's a bell on the middle of the coffee table.
Okay.
Bring that, and an attendant will appear. Includes if you're hungry.
Okay.
So shut the door behind you, hear a loud click. Is it?
Okay. Immediately, as the door closes, she kind of and then like runs to that bed. And I want to try to like starfish on it.
Just sail through the.
Yeah.
Acrobatic.
Yeah.
You, and it's like hitting a marshmallow. You just squish into the bed. You're like, oh, it's so happy.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Is there like toiletries in the bathroom?
Oh yeah,
I'm taking all of them.
yeah. There's like there's bottles of perfume and like deodorizers and like powders and towels, and there looks to be one of those old timey bathtubs made of brass that's got the feet and the claws or whatever.
Anything there like shampoos, just anything toiletries. I'm taking. I'm doing that.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna jump on the bed a little bit. Have
Yeah.
some fun.
It's you like sink to like your waist every time you hop, so it's like
Okay.
it doesn't bounce, but you're like, oh, but like,
Yeah.
but the couch is bouncing. It's like,
We have to try those.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
So, but meanwhile,
Mhm.
outside, he looks at you and he says, "We'll work on getting you better outfitted at the swordless just for now." Right. He goes over to the door directly opposite to hers. Rich puts his hand over the door. A handle click. It opens. He walks you in. Um, it's the opposite. You know, it's a mirror.
Yeah.
Again, the glass window where you can see out over the city. Your angle's a little bit different, because even though it's the same wall, you're a little farther along, and so you can see out into the actual seaport side of things, see the docks, see the shipyard island. Um, it's interesting because it's even with the overhang from the stone on the first part of the city, there's enough lighting that's done that it maintains an appearance of being daylight, even though like it should be in shadow for some of it. And you can see like where that line is, where like up a higher there is shadow, but then like there's enough lighting somehow that it's not.
So like, what time is it? Like ballpark. So like,
You guys would have got here in the early mornings.
okay.
I went around and all that stuff. It's been a few hours. Now at this point, it's really only like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
is it take the day, rest. I have things I need to take care of. Knowing what you've given me now, I'm gonna go talk to them again next. We'll we'll make sure this doesn't go unanswered. You just relax, recover. And again, if you need anything, he tosses you an earring.
Who's gonna catch it? Are they all these fucking cat paws?
It's her whole thing.
Alright. Yes. More of a dog gun, whatever.
Well, that's what she named her, a Nine Lives Casino.
He was a dog.
Alright.
He name dropped that too. It's why I called it the Nine Lives Casino.
That's funny.
I'm gonna slot into his ear.
When you do, you can hear like a staticky noise, and then you feel it connect to you again. Um, it's when it works,
Okay.
because he'll touch his on his ear and say directly to you to make sure it's connecting. Um, you whisper, and it whispers to the person who has this. It functions as the message spell.
Okay.
I might have stolen
Thanks.
that. Rest up. Tomorrow we're gonna heist something. Test out your
Boy.
friend.
All right.
See what you're capable of.
Surely this won't go bad, right? Surely.
I'm gonna send up somebody in the wall to take a look at that. Nods towards your arm.
Okay.
Just in case.
Does this mean I get a break from Kane for a while, at least?
Nope. You'll see him tomorrow.
Fuck, man. Can we at least put him in his ring one day? I know I can beat his ass up. He's not even 5 feet tall.
He's an old dwarf. Just let it be. He's been with us for a long time.
Man, old bitch. More like.
Slash her on the shoulder, which you're like,
A little bit because it's
Sore.
it's like,
Sore.
it's a mess. He walks out the door. Loud click. That's where we're gonna end tonight's session. Thanks you for joining us for our adventures. I hope you enjoyed the game night as much as we did. See you next time.